Hi, this is Jason Major with Sweaty Hero Comic Bargains. I'm here to talk about some Bronze Age Marvel I found in the dollar bin, as well as some bargains for Amazing Spider-Man. So first we have Marvel Presents Guardians of the Galaxy, and this features the original Guardians of the Galaxy with Steve Gerber and Milgrom doing the creative team. So that's kind of cool and a neat find. Guardians of the Galaxy, of course, was originally in the future, and that guy, blue guy, is actually Yondu from the Guardians of the Galaxy film. And then we have Black Goliath, who was in Ant-Man and the Wasp as Goliath, played by Lawrence Fishburne, and also is known as Giant Man in some of the books, or Goliath. And I didn't know that he had a title called Black Goliath for a couple of issues, but that's kind of a fun story. George Tuska does the art. Chris Claremont does the writing. Who wrote Uncanny Spider-Man, Uncanny X-Men. Deathlock is an issue of Astonishing Tales, which this is the first Deathlock was from the future, from the year 1990. This is 1976, and he's a cyborg. And I like Deathlock. I like the second version better. I thought that was a cool one because it was more like a RoboCop kind of situation. But Deathlock is a cool character. So a lot of cool... Sometimes you'll find these Bronze Age Marvel books in dollar bins because they're just reading copies. And I think that's a cool find. Next, I just want to tell you about Amazing Spider-Man and some Venom appearances that you might not know about or think about. And this is where I'm just like... These are $5, but they're $5 in beautiful near-mint shape. And an average book of this video is now $5 US. So I consider this worth it. I love this. I had this comic as a kid when I was younger. But what I really want to highlight is that it has an appearance of Venom. So with it being 1992, Venom had only been around for 4 years and only had a few minor appearances. And that this is where you're going to be able to get started with the Venom that appears later on in 374, 75, and then into the Lethal Protector series, which is... So this is the time period where Venom is about to get his own series, and so he's going to have many more appearances. But before that, he only appeared in 298, 299, 300, 298, 299, were of course cameos, 300, 315... 316, 17. That's 4. Oh, that's there. 3. Then a handful of others. You know what I mean? So this is one of the first dozen appearances of Venom, really. And so this is a cool book. That's a cool find. And I encourage you to look for stuff like that. Like sometimes you can find key appearances of characters like Venom in other Marvel books where he only appeared briefly, right? And then this one is also Maximum Carnage. It doesn't tie in with Maximum Carnage, but the jury was a bunch of people who wanted revenge rightfully for what Venom did in terms of killing innocent people. And they put Spider-Man on charge because he did bring the costume there. And then in this storyline, you have a flashback talking about the events of Venom and Carnage. And so that's cool because even though it's a flashback, it is a Carnage appearance, and there's a Venom appearance in this too. So that was something that I thought was kind of an interesting thing to look for. I also encourage you that Amazing Spider-Man being the key book in the Spider-Man line, that we're now talking that books from the 90s are starting to go up. So any Amazing Spider-Man is really getting to become a key book, especially when you get into the first volume that occurred up until the late 90s. And so these are all bargains that you can find. So this is $5. If it was a half price sale, these would be only $2.50. So think about that. There's a lot of times when you're in the summer where comic stores are looking to have summer sales, and they'll do 30% off, 25% off back issues, or 50% off back issues. Look for those times to buy these key books if you like buying, if you still like buying singles and you want to buy key books. Go for sales like that where you can see it's 25% off. Well, I might as well buy a key book then. You know what I mean? because these books, some of the non-key books, will be in your more affordable $5 price and all that. So at 50% off, it's $250. Whereas, a key book that's $50, if it's 50% off, $25, or if it's even 25% off, you know what I mean? So you might want to think about that. So get Marvel comics and stay sweaty by looking for comic bargains at your local comic store.